Mega Man X. Man, do I remember these games. My brother used to play the crap out of it, even though apparently now he's like, oh no, Mega Man X isn't that great. Mega Man X is badass. Kent, you're wrong. You're wrong. Mega Man X was like the holy grail of its time. It was like, original Mega Man X series came out, and then they were like, let's remix this shit, and then it just like, everything came together perfectly, and then Mega Man X was just like, boom! Friggin' music is awesome and super hype. Friggin' graphics are all was fucking killing everything on Super Nintendo at the time. The mechanics were tight. The mechanics were tight, and control of X was almost second nature to newcomers and people who had played the original games. For people who grew up with the originals, one thing you'll notice right off the bat is the opening stage. It's futuristic, it's dark, it kind of sets a different tone from the other Mega Man games. Not in like a, this is going to be a different experience. It's just kind of like the world that you were in before, now fleshed out, looks a little different than you probably thought it would. Just a little darker, a little edgier than it originally comes out. So the game starts you on like a futuristic highway. Everything's kind of dark and gritty. There's explosions in the background. Like, it looks like something straight out of an anime, even though it's, you know, in a 16-bit game. Where the older games didn't have those at all, and as soon as you started the game, you went right into the 8 Robot Master stages. This introductory stage is part of what makes Mega Man X so great. It's literally a master course in creating game design. But there are so many other YouTubers and people who have dug into this stage and talked about how awesome it is. I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to be able to do it the justice that these guys did. But I will put a link in the description to some of those videos, so if you want to check them out for yourself, go right ahead. One of the other important things that this game does that's different from the originals is it actually has a cohesive story. So you start in this opening stage where they are setting up the story for you. And it introduces you to the primary characters, which are X, Mega Man X if you want to call him that, but X is his name, Zero, and Vile. You play as Mega Man X with his trusty lemon shooter. Zero is the anime-style sword-wielding, oh my god, look at my long flowing hair character. And then there's Vile, who's like the mid-boss, I'm just kind of generically evil character, who works for the big bad at the end, who's Sigma. So as you progress through the stage, you eventually run into Vile, who's wearing a power suit, and he whoops your ass proper. And just when X is on his last leg, Zero shows up, makes him quick work of the power suit, and is ready to fight Vile, and Vile's like, alright, fuck this, I'm out. Zero tells you, as X, that you're not fully upgraded yet, and when you get there, you might be even more powerful than him. This is the game setting you into motion. You fight Vile, you lose, then Zero shows up, saves you. You see how powerful Zero is immediately because you fought Vile and you couldn't touch him, and then Zero comes in and takes him out. That automatically puts the power scale in perspective for you. Then Zero turns around and says, well, if you get all the armor, you might be stronger than me. So then that means, boom, that means I can whoop Vile's ass. But it also puts you into a headspace where it's like, Zero's not here anymore, so if Vile shows up again and I'm not stronger, I might get my ass kicked again, I might die, so I need to get this armor quick. After that, you get thrown into a screen with the 8 Robot Masters. This is going to be familiar to people who've played Mega Man games before. Shit, I've been talking about that freaking intro stage so much, I forgot to explain the freaking mechanics of the game. Mega Man is a side-scrolling platformer game, if you haven't guessed already. The whole game is pretty much based on jump and shoot. Walk to the right, jump to avoid pits, or low to the ground enemies. Enemies have projectiles, and you also take damage from touching enemies. So use those good old jump and shoot buttons to make your way through the game. Enemies have projectiles, and you also take damage from touching enemies. So use those good old jump and shoot buttons to avoid them. So a new addition to Mega Man X is the wall slide / grind. This allows you to slide down walls to slow your descent, or use it as another jump. This helps you move around a lot easier in the game because X ain't no Mario. He's all metal and he drops like a ton of bricks. Like in the original Mega Man games, when you defeat one of the 8 masters, you get a version of their power for your gun. See Flame Mammoth's Flame Attack, meet X's Flamethrower. There are also Heart Tanks and E-Tanks. Heart Tanks increase Mega Man's HP,
nice.
and E-Tanks allow you to refill. They're kind of like an extra, they're kind of like a fairy in Zelda.
Dope.
Referencing one game to explain another game, but you get the point. The sparkling gem of this game that kind of sets this game apart from anything else, armor upgrades. And holy shit, these things are cool. So they're armor pieces, and they're hidden in each one of the Robot Master stages. So you go Robot Master, you get an armor piece, upgrade your stuff, everything changes once you get these armor pieces. The upgraded helmet allows you to break things with your head, revealing secret items. The upgraded legs allow you to dash by pressing A. The upgraded chest plate reduces damage dealt to you by enemies. And last but definitely not least, the upgraded Buster Cannon gives you an additional special attack with all of your Robot Master skills and also your Buster Cannon as well. So, after you defeat all the Robot Master, you get thrown into the Sigma stages. The Sigma stages are basically like the boss run before the boss run. They take all the elements of the previous levels and then they put them all together in weird and annoying ways. And then so you've done it. You got all the armor upgrades and now you're a bigger badass than Zero. You take Vile down and he plays his last trump card. He uses a paralyzing field on you, pretty much stop you in your tracks and leave you all helpless and defenseless. Then Zero jumps in, he self-destructs to kill Vile, and with his dying breath says, "You're the best now. Go kill Sigma." And now, it's time to go fight Sigma. But you got one more thing you gotta do before you do that. Head to Armor Armadillo stage, and right before you get to that boss room, jump into the pit before it 5 times. And then, on the 6th time, you'll find one more upgrade station. And what do you get there? The motherfucking Hadouken. Yes, the fucking Street Fighter Hadouken! You get the fucking Hadouken! And the Hadouken literally one-hits any enemy in the game. Run up to a boss, Hadouken, dead. So take this Hadouken to the final boss, blast all 3 forms of Sigma, game over. The thing about this game is precision. It's all about moving well. Jumping to avoid enemies, jumping to avoid enemy attacks, jumping to avoid pits. And because of this, I don't recommend emulating this game. My computer is definitely equipped to handle Mega Man freaking X, but I could feel the delay. I could feel it. And but there are 1,000 different versions of this game that have been released. I mean, you can get it on anything. I'm pretty sure you can get an actual computer release of Mega Man X. I'm not 100. Yes, I can. I'm 100 because they have that Mega Man Classics Legacy Pack. 100%. You can get it on PC. It's probably cheap. But especially if you've played Mega Man X before or a Mega Man game before, and you try and play it on an emulator, it'll drive you insane. When I did my playthrough to get the footage for this video, I was like, I can't. Why? And I realized it's just because it's on an emulator. I played it off of an emulator on a console, and it literally made the game 100 times easier. Just the 1/10 of a second delay that we're talking about here is enough to just throw you off enough that it gets frustrating quick. So you can find this for less than $10, probably on any console. I'm sure you can get it on any Nintendo console. I know you can get it on PlayStation. I know the Legacy Pack exists. So just drop the $10 and buy it, because you will hate yourself. So the Crew Point oh rating for this game is 1,000 out of X, because Mega Man X is absolutely awesome. I believe every person who considers themselves a gamer should play this game. Even if you don't beat it, even if you don't complete it, just play it. Just play it. That's all I'm saying. There are so many times where remakes or sequels or whatever just don't work. They come out, they're sloppily created, they're hastily made, they're just trying to cash in on a buck. Fuck those games. Mega Man X is not that. Mega Man X is everything that was good about the original games coming together in a perfect package. So that's my review of Mega Man X. Thanks for watching. If you stayed to the end, I appreciate it. I appreciate the love. Please go ahead and click that like button, that follow button. And what is your classic? Mega Man X is one of my classics. I'm a classic guy, so I have tons of classics. But Mega Man X is definitely on the list. If you have a classic, please put it in the comments. Maybe I'll pick it up and review it. Who knows? Alright, thank you guys for watching. Crew Porno out.